Once again, I am on it, Trico. Are you fed up with the wait on Pokemon Home compatibility? Do you simply want, at the very least, some kind of announcement? If you haven't moved on to playing other video games already, do you get an itch every once in a while to pick up Scarlet and Violet again, but the only things that are stopping you are the bugs and poor performance? Hell, you could be fed up with the Terra raids that they are bombarding you all with, when a lot of them are nothing more than Pokemon being drip fed to you that are already programmed into Scarlet and Violet. More on that later. Whatever your struggle may be, you're just gonna have to keep hope alive a little bit longer because I don't have any solutions. But I do have some insight that you may find appealing because it sheds a bit of light on insolent Game Freak's priorities, the lack thereof. So once again, where the fuck is the Pokemon Home early 2023 update? There's actually some people that are trying to run with this corporate definition of an early 2020 release despite us being 5 months into 2023. What part of that is early at all? And the corporation is exactly why you're all in this predicament. There's nothing early about June, let alone June 21st, because that's nearly half of the year gone. Either way, the only people I've witnessed spouting this nonsense are the tried and true corporate booty bandits. Either way, they can't even explain what the hell is going on with the Pokemon Home update that has passed its early 2023 deadline. Feel free to continue to move the goalposts for your precious Game Freak. Another thing that these people aren't sticking their bird chests out over is the fake achievement of Scarlet and Violet selling 10 million units in the first 3 days of their release, only for that number to double within 6 weeks. If you consider shit like this achievements, I question your standards, and that's exactly why you get unfinished and unfixed products like Scarlet and Violet. That's what everybody in the gaming industry, consumers, and these tyrannical corporations alike have been bending the knee to for the longest. Do you want to know the difference between achievements and failures? Here it is. You want to celebrate something like this. For those of you who are looking forward to Hollow Knight Silksong, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, but the wait is definitely worth it if you want a product that is more than just barely functional. Hell, before Tears of the Kingdom releases, it has already received a patch. And even though it's ultimately, according to Nintendo, a language package, people who have already received the game early are already reporting an improvement in its performance. If only Pokemon in general, let alone Scarlet and Violet, got the exact same treatment day one. But you know what happened instead? Unfinished and unfixed products sold a disgusting 10 million units in just 3 days of their release. That's the difference between celebrating this and this. It's all about voting with your wallet, kids. Speaking of the MIA Pokemon Home update for Scarlet and Violet, did you know that the evolution methods for all of the Hisuian Pokemon introduced in Pokemon Legends Arceus are already programmed into Scarlet and Violet? The data is literally locked. Why is this even a thing? Yeah, your Stantler, Quilava, Scyther, Goomy, etc. already have the data readily available for them to evolve into their respective Hisuian evolutions and forms. But because Insolent Game Freak is, well, insolent, you can chalk this quirk up as yet another example of their ineptitude. The funny thing is, you do not even need Pokemon Home compatibility with Scarlet and Violet to evolve these respective Pokemon. For example, apparently Stantler only needs to know the moves Psyshield Bash in order to evolve into Weirdeer. All of this is programmed into the games along with Stantler's newly found compatibility with the Eviolite. Stantler is even programmed to evolve into Weirdeer by leveling it up after using Psyshield Bash 20 times. The data to evolve this Pokemon along with Ursaring into Ursaluna and Scyther into Kleavor already exists inside of Scarlet and Violet. Again, the same parameters apply to obtaining Ursaluna. However, it's not clear what way Ursaring, Scyther, just to name a few, evolve exactly in Scarlet and Violet. This is just the way they evolved in Pokemon Legends Arceus. So on top of an extremely late Pokemon Home update, I guess for the sake of being uniform with the Pokemon Home update, they inexplicably locked the data for these Pokemon to evolve in Scarlet and Violet? They are definitely one of the most incapable game developers out there as far as I'm concerned. It also doesn't help that they have time to partner up with Private Division to help them create a new IP called Project Bloom. While this game isn't going to release anytime soon because they're planning on a 2026 fiscal year release, it really says a lot about where Game Freak's mind must be, regardless of how many Game Freak employees actually exist. The last thing they need is even more pressure to showcase their incompetence through. Don't be surprised if it ends up being yet another unfinished and buggy mess. That's Insolent Game Freak for you yet again. There's still no news of a Pokemon Home update for Scarlet and Violet. They're trying to distract you away from that fact. Oh, excuse me, they are rewarding you with Pokemon that already exist in Scarlet and Violet's data anyway, among others. You can get Hisuian Goodra, Kleavor, Weirdeer, etc., but the data is locked, so you can't get it legally anyway. So add that nonsense right next to the lack of an early 2023 Pokemon Home update for Scarlet and Violet, as well as their new hobby and collaboration that hopefully won't release like Scarlet and Violet did, and is at least a lot better than Little Town Hero. People have been saying for years that the focus for the Pokemon franchise is to make it a more mobile experience, and Junichi Masuda's narrow-minded mentality is a perfect example of this. So with all of this insolence considered, I wouldn't be surprised if this is what people meant.